Your brain is the most important tool for university level success, and yet many students don't take care of it. This video will talk a bit about how to treat your brain well. Keep in mind that everything in this video is a bit of a simplification and an exaggeration, even though it's grounded in research. What happens when you learn is that you are growing neural connections. This is your neurons before learning. As you struggle to learn the material, the complexity of the interconnectivity between the neurons increases. When you finally get it, that is, you understand a particular concept, this represents a particular pattern or pathway, sometimes called a neural trace. This trace, however, is initially weak. You need to refresh it several times to strengthen it. This is what you do when you review. Sleep is also important because it helps prune unsuccessful pathways and makes the central pathway stronger. If you have ever learned something wrong, this is why it is so hard to unlearn it. You have already established a strong neural trace that is incorrect. This research on brain-based learning has several implications for you as a student, and the first is to tolerate confusion. Confusion with difficult concepts is entirely normal. If you just read about it and got it immediately, it sort of suggests that you already knew it. A truly novel concept will challenge you, and you'll have to build new neural traces in order to understand it. Confusion is simply the state of your brain struggling to get a viable neural trace in order to understand it. Most students, when they don't get something, immediately assume that there's something wrong with them. They should get it right away. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you are confused, you are actually on the edge of learning something completely new. But your brain needs time to do that, so give it the time that it needs. When you are struggling with difficult material, what you might do is mark that section of the text or that lecture and leave it for a while. Come back to it the next day. This, of course, assumes that you have good time management skills, and you might want to look at some of the other videos on that subject. The second most important thing is to read for meaning and understanding. Immerse yourself in the material, not just reading it over mechanically, but deeply thinking about it. When students study for meaning, their memory is enhanced. Feed your brain. Learning is tiring because you are literally building knowledge with your brain neurons. This takes resources, so eat well, stay away from sugar, and drink lots of water. A hungry, dehydrated brain performs poorly. Feeding your brain well also means not feeding it some things. Contrary to several myths, there are not a variety of substances that will enhance mental performance. Most of them don't actually have substantiating research that clearly increases your grades. Fourth, get good sleep. Sleep is essential for learning because it helps establish those strong neural connections. Ideally, you should review material before going to bed each night, and then again review it in the morning. If you can review within 24 hours, you greatly enhance your memory. By sleep, I'm not talking about naps. Those naps may refresh your brain a bit, but they are not long enough for your brain to reach the stages of sleep associated with learning. You need enough of these as well. That means, for most students, 8 hours of sleep. 5. It may seem strange, but you need at least an hour and a half of natural light a day in order to adequately regulate your sleep. If you routinely study in a basement, rarely emerging, you may find that your sleep is very ineffective and your learning will suffer. Study near a window if you can. It doesn't matter if it's raining, any natural light will do. Try to get outside, go for walks. All of this will give you that 1.5 hours of natural light that you need a day. Exercise is also essential. It has the added benefit of reducing stress, and walking part of the way to school is both a good way to get exercise and that natural light. Want to combine all of this into one technique? Try the triangle approach. It works like this. When you need a break when studying, say, in Thode Library, pack up your stuff and leave. You don't want to take a break in front of your textbook. Get away from it. So, walk across campus and go to, say, Mills Library. Unpack and start studying again for as long as you can until you need another break. When you need a break, pack up, leave. Again, you don't want to study in front of your textbook, and say walk across to the Health Sciences building, or to Tim Hortons, or back to your residence room. Eventually, you end up back at Thode, completing the triangle, or quadrangle, or whatever it is, depending on how many study spaces you've identified for yourself on campus. The triangle technique does several things for you. 1, it gives you a break, and breaks are important in learning. Each time you start studying again in a new environment, you find that you can extend your attention a bit and concentrate just a bit longer. The triangle technique gives you several things. First, it gets you outside, you get a little bit of exercise, maybe some natural light. You also get a break. If you add food and water and good study strategies to this, you've got a complete brain-based package. I hope that this was helpful, and good luck.